right, all right. Welcome back to the Honest Hour.
What's up? What's
You
up?
know, today in a little impromptu. These two gentlemen were scheduled individually, but we're gonna do it all together. We got first gentleman I'm gonna introduce is the CEO
COO.
or COO. I'm sorry, correction.
We got a CEO. Shout out to Mr. Cool.
Of Cut from a Different Kente. He's also an artist himself, R&B artist.
Yeah, man.
Does his thing with that, you know, and he's definitely looking to take the world by storm with his label. And then I'm welcoming back my brother, who I already interviewed once.
Go.
Definitely a firm believer in what he does, a firm believer in who he is. He knows who he is as an individual. And honest to God, this is probably the most confident individual I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, man.
And he embodies it with his demeanor, his attitude. That's not even just saying it, that's the truth. Welcome, KROONER Kente, and welcome Ice the God.
Y'all know the
to
vibes.
the Honest Hour.
What's up? What's up?
How y'all doing
Cut from
today?
a different Kente. We in a building.
We in a big building.
How y'all doing today?
We can't complain, bro.
I'm good.
Being on the right side of the ground. Appreciate you for having us.
Listen,
you know,
listen.
shout out to the Honest Hour.
You know, and shout out to your secretary and your team for putting this together.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
I
Yeah, shout out to
DM'd you.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, what up?
Me and her emailed, and now a month later, here we are.
Yeah. You know, efficient work gets things done efficiently.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, and this is the most important question I'm going to ask today, how's y'all mental health today? On a scale from 1 to 10.
I'm definitely a good 8. I'm good. Like, God is faithful. God is good. You know, we had some hiccups in getting here as far as like timing and things like that, but nothing that, you know, nothing to somebody that's prepared. You know, we're used to doing this. This is something that we do every single day. I know that there are some artists, there are some labels, there are some people that find it difficult to like plan their days, but we're planners around here. So usually my mental health top tier, you know.
How are you feeling, Ice?
We on 10 right now. We on 10 right now. I'm feeling marvelous. I'm feeling wonderful. I know what's coming up. I know how my future is about to look. I mean, everything is looking bright. I'm feeling well.
Yeah.
See
Can't
that?
not really stop us right now, so I'm feeling great.
That part.
That answer right there should let you know that introduction wasn't bullshit. Just so y'all know.
Nah, it's 10. I got full control over my mental right now. Like, I was a depressed person at one time, but I got full control of my mental right now. I'm at 10. I'm locked in.
You know, and you know, that's how we got to be. We got to be locked in. We got to do everything that we have to do to get to where we're going.
Definitely.
You know, so, and like I said, you know, I'm glad to have both of you here.
Appreciate you, brother.
It's important to tell stories. It's important to see people who look like us doing what y'all are doing.
Yeah, man.
Doing what y'all are doing. So we're going to just hop right into it. You know, but outside of mental health, how y'all doing today? Just in general.
Yeah, I'm good. You know, we look good, so, you know, it's hard to not feel good when you look good. You know, what can I tell you?
You got different.
What can I tell you?
Nah, I'm feeling marvelous. I got my team with me, my people here with me, my brothers with me. You know, we locked in.
Yeah,
Feeling good
man.
today.
All right. KROONER, we're going to start with you.
Okay, let's
A
do
little
it.
bit here, and then we'll go back and forth. You know, I did have the honor of interviewing Ice once before, so we got his backstory on video. You know, but I'm glad to meet. This is the first time we've met in person.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, facts, facts.
You know, so where are you originally from, bro?
Okay, so the crazy part is I was born in Poughkeepsie, right?
Okay.
But I just didn't know Poughkeepsie because by the time like I moved, we were still young. So like I didn't know this place. Like my parents moved around a lot. Feel me?
Yeah.
So we went to the Bronx. I was in North Carolina. I was in New Rochelle. I was like, feel me? We moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So I say that I'm from Poughkeepsie because I feel like the heart of a lot of the things that I've learned are in Poughkeepsie, but I also rep a lot of other places because that's who shows me love. You know, you show love the way they show you love back. Feel me?
Absolutely. So then you really don't have an experience there per se growing up. You
No,
kinda,
by the time I came back to Poughkeepsie, I was like 15. So everybody else was already clicked up, already had friends and all that. And I was like, who are these people that swear that they know my family? I don't know y'all.
I don't know you. Like,
I don't know you people. But the crazy part is the person that I did know was the CEO of our company, Mr. Cords. That was the one that I actually remembered because our parents, no matter when we moved, was still mad close.
oh wow! And then full circle now.
Facts.
He's now big
Head of
time
the
in the
label,
company.
yeah,
You
right.
know, he's running the show. Shout out to him. He's in the back
Definitely
there.
shout out to Mr. Cords, per
You know,
usual.
Cords, what up?
Doing his thing. So, what were some of your interests and hobbies as you were growing up?
Okay, so I danced a lot. Actually, how I got into music first was more by dance than it was by singing. I started dancing, and then I was doing a lot of writing. By time I was like in school, I was already going places like the Apollo. I was already going to like all states and all counties. So I was already doing something. I was always active. I like to like be out there, but equally as much, I like being in the field. So I'm a runner. I always liked football. I like to see people get hurt. Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, I was always a sports oriented person just because I like to move around. I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. Feel me?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So obviously, then music was always a hobby in a sense as well.
Definitely.
Because me list their hobbies, and a hobby of mine is listening to music.
Right, right.
I don't own 8 pairs of headphones for nothing. I don't own a bunch of speakers for nothing. Like,
Felt that.
I listen to music. I listened to the project of yours
Appreciate
before
you.
you came on. I tried to re-listen to Walk on Water, but the thing is I can't get past Giraffe, and that's the first track.
Walk on water is
yo,
Walk on water is a big deal. I'm not gonna lie. Walk on water
yo,
eats.
I heard Giraffe. I'm like, oh, this is what we doing. This is what we doing.
Yeah, we
You know?
came here to act up and disturb everything.
This is what we
God.
doing. I ain't mad
the gate.
about it. I say, that's how I see it. I ain't mad about it. So, when did you start making music yourself, and who were some of your inspirations?
I was actually signed to my very first contract at 14 years old.
Wow.
Facts. And my mother knows this now. She didn't know it then. I was skipping school and everything recording. It was terrible. My mother used to get calls every single day from the principals and everything like he's not in school. He just comes and drops off the paperwork. He comes and drops off his homework, but he won't stay in the classes. My mother hated that. But yeah, I got signed to Rocketdown Records at 14 years old and was already given $5,000 just to start my contract while I was a 14-year-old and didn't know, like, I just knew how to write a good song. So for a long period of time, they would just have me coming into the studio writing songs for other people. But the crazy part is they were like 30. And this 14-year-old kid is writing their songs. Like, people didn't know that, but they know now. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But nah, it was a good time. Like, my brother like put me on. Here's really how it happened the first time anyway. So my brother calls me like, hey, Neo is in Poughkeepsie right now. Like, he has to stop into this studio. They're trying to work on a song, right? Boom. So I'm like, so you said skip school. It sounded like, so skip school to me. So boom, I'm like, all right, get me in. Because Rockadon had like this lock code. So if you didn't know it, because he would change it every 2 days, if you weren't like scheduled, you wouldn't be able to get into the studio. So I was like, all right, you got studio time, sneak me in. Like, come on. So he acted like he was going out for a smoke break and then snuck me in. I'm not gonna lie, I was pitching songs to everybody that day. I was signed to Rocketdown Records probably 4 weeks after.
Wow.
It was real. I was like, I don't care who I gotta step on. I don't care what I gotta do.
You're like, I'm getting there.
Oh yeah, I need, because at that time I realized music was taking him places. I was seeing him on the radio. I was seeing him doing like 97.1, and I was like, this is supposed to be my life. Like, this is supposed to be me. I'm happy for you, but this is supposed to be me. So when he was on something like, nah, you're talented. Like, you should really focus like your work. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on always making an impact. Whenever you walk into a room, walk in like you're there on purpose, because everybody in the room doesn't know who's supposed to be there, but they'll remember who was there. Feel me? So after then, I was like, yeah, it's all smooth sailing for me. Like, I'll write for whoever I have to write for just to get into the right door for them to notice me. That's where I was at. Feel me?
Damn.
Gangster.
Hey, listen, you know, it's sometimes I always say you're not supposed to be at everyone's table.
Facts.
You're not supposed to go through everyone's door. So what do? Create my own table.
Facts.
Create my own door. You know? And that's what it seems like that you did.
Yep.
You know? And then so from that, it seems like there was a little bit of time before you actually put out a project, or is there something I might have missed?
Oh no. See, when you have a rebrand, you have to fully rebrand. So
Yeah, I just
you
did
don't
that.
keep things up on media. You don't keep music up. If your name is something different, you take all the music down. Get the royalties in a different way. Sell the songs back. Sell the songs to someone else. Repurpose or redistribute the songs that you did before, but don't keep that identity. When you keep an identity during an old rebrand, they will always focus on who you were then. They will never take you seriously as who you want to become or who you are now. Well, I made sure during my rebrand now, it was on some, I'm doing everything on my own. I started this. This is my table. So everything that everybody had that was getting splits and numbers and, oh no, let's go ahead and put a halt to people's money until there's a new check.
Ooh. All right.
Let's talk about it. When the talent is new, the check is new. And if they tell you anything different, they haven't been doing this long enough.
So welcome to Gym Dropping Hour for those who are just tuning in.
Yeah.
About getting some money.
Let's do it.
You know, and that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You know, because you have to really have that demeanor.
Definitely.
And really have to do those things, and you want people to know who you are now.
Definitely.
You don't want them to know that guy.
Who you were then. Like, you have to remember when I first came in, because I was saying I was 14 years old. So I come in and they name me Truth. I'm writing songs for people under these monikers and names, not realizing that they also have money on my moniker. My name's not even my name. So I'm writing these songs, and although I should really be getting 70% on this song, because they also own my name, I'm not getting the writing credits that I also should be getting then. Afterwards, once I was signed as an artist, my name changed again. But I didn't create my name. They created my name.
So it's theirs.
Correct. Now, even if you haven't noticed, the play as Crooner Kente is almost a run from slavery. Get it? I am a singer.
Wow.
But I have monikered Crooner Kente. My first project is then called On the Run. First thing that I do, a bunch of written songs that I haven't done any full mastering to, just so that I can release an album. I waited until they were willing to pay for the artist, not the songs.
Damn.
Now they pay for the artist, and now they get more songs.
Oh, so you really controlled your own narrative.
Oh, I made sure to.
You made sure you had full control before they even got what they
When
wanted.
you allow them to tell your story, they will say you were never in pain because you never said ouch.
Okay. Whoa.
When you allow them to tell your story, they will say you're never in pain because you never said ouch. But if you're not writing or telling the story, how do you get to say ouch? When do you get to say that? When do you get to tell anybody your story? You don't. You just have to deal with the contracts that you were in. Now, although I was ambitious, I was young. And although my brother was ambitious, he was young.
Right.
So we weren't as privy as we are now, but that was then and this is now.
So I'm just gonna say to the audience and just real quick to our editor, make sure you clip that part for when you know what I mean, for later on. Please clip that part. You know. So fast forward a little bit now. So I'm sure going through that.
Yeah.
And having that experience is what really got you to wanting to create a record label of your own.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The minute that I decided like Cut from a Different Kente has to be a thing.
Yeah.
Right? It was because I started seeing a bunch of talents that we could have made things much more accessible for that other people just wouldn't. They wouldn't help. They wouldn't give you the background. They wouldn't give you the know-how. They wouldn't put you on game because they still saw them as competition. I don't see others as competition in a lane that was made for me, the same way that all of my artists have a lane that's specifically made and tailored for them. So nobody can be a better Ice because Ice is the greatest Ice. He just so happens to be one of the greatest rappers too.
Absolutely. And now I want to diverge to you, to Ice. I want you to speak about Cut from a Different Kente. Most artists don't want to be signed to any label at all right now or these days. What made you decide to join KROONER in his record label?
I
And his
trusted
team.
him. It was trust.
Yeah.
It was trust. There was a lot of shit I've been through where it was like I didn't really trust the people who was acting like they wanted what was best for me. They really, like my brother Chords, my brother KROONER, they really want what's best for me, and I trusted that in them. So that's what made it different from anything else.
How does their mission, and maybe I should have asked that first, what the actual mission statement is behind it before I ask him this question. I've read it on the website. I didn't put in the notes. I'm not
Gotcha.
going to lie.
No, it's okay.
But with your passion, it's probably better to hear from you anyway.
Yeah.
So what is the actual mission behind?
The mission behind Cut from a Different Kente is to create a different process with an old culture. So we have things that are deep rooted. You know what I mean? Like we have learned our music, our identity, the way that we listen and make music through the things that we have already experienced. It's our cloth. It's part of our makeup. It's part of our DNA.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But if we never are given an opportunity, people never see how different we could be, how far we could go. They just see what you have the means to do. Cut from a Different Kente makes sure that we are in the stead for the artists that should be on top and just didn't have the backing or the know-how how to get there. We give the way. We give the culture. We give the idea. This is the new age of what music is supposed to be.
So how did that statement align with you in your music?
Me being me, they let me be me. They want somebody who's different. They don't want people who fit in and who copy off of what everybody else is doing. They want somebody who's genuinely them, and that's like me down to a T. So I appreciated that.
Facts.
And you know, and for anyone who hasn't listened to his project Walk on Water, I'm not even gonna lie. Prior to that project, I had listened when you came on. I listened to some of the music. I haven't gotten through your whole discography, but what I will say is that project sounds a lot different than anything else you've put out. You know, there. You know, to me, and as both of you being artists, you could probably speak to this. To me, there's always that point when an artist hits their groove.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't care what anyone says. Nas, those 3 years had found a second groove.
Facts.
You know, as much as I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan, he's in his groove right now.
Yeah.
J. Cole is in his groove. Like there's just something. There's that point. And I think for you, this is just my personal opinion, because I know you feel like you've always been there. I know, because I know your confidence. But that project is the beginning of something different.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's not to shit on your other work or say it was bad, because it's not. But what I'm saying is that project is going to perpetuate you to something farther than even maybe you can envision. So keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that, bro.
You know, because I'm telling you, and it wasn't even like I listened, and you know, I know artists don't really like comparisons.
Right.
But sometimes I mean it as a sign of respect. Kendrick's recent album, every song had a flow, different flow. Your album's the same way.
Yeah.
You showed different sides of Ice the God. It wasn't one flow. It wasn't one cadence. It wasn't one type of song. It wasn't one feeling. It was different
person
things.
Is like that as a human? What person is just all one feeling all the time now?
Right.
Right.
I like to just express all sides of me.
Absolutely. And you definitely hit on the nail. But make sure y'all check it out and get past Giraffe, because that's hard. Like when I want to listen to the rest of the album, I just go to 2, because like it just getting past Giraffe is like very difficult.
Talking that talk.
You know, so
It's a brilliant album. It is a brilliant album. from head to toe, but it was also, he was brilliant in the way that he handled making the album. Like, Ice is a go-getter. Ice works. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so when the critiques even come, when Chords is offering critiques, when there is an idea of something different and better, he just taps in. And I'm like, every artist just doesn't have that.
So when he's creating music, or when any artist is creating music, are you usually in the studio as well?
I am attached to literally everything. I am the chief of operations. So there is not one thing that happens in Cut from a Different Kente that my hands will not touch. If I'll just randomly pop up on their studio sessions, all of their studio sessions have to be scheduled through secretaries already anyway.
Right.
They are attached to A&Rs. So all of the A&Rs have to know when their studio sessions are happening. We have Gantt charts that are created for this first 6 months of any artist's career, period, anyway. Every single day for months. I know everything that they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's great because you have COOs and CEOs who are hands off. You know,
We're not.
You know,
We are not those people.
The reason-
We are very hands-on because, and honestly, it's because we want our people taken care of correctly.
Right.
And there are certain things that people would have tried with Ice when it was just Ice that does not happen.
Yeah, y'all know me. I got it out the mud. I've been doing this shit by myself for so long. I appreciate it. It feels good for somebody to be able to speak up for me and say, like, nah, this is not what's going on. Like, you're not doing him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, real quick, because there is a question here that I want to get to. Well, actually, I'll ask it, then I just want to make a quick point.
Okay.
Is I want to understand, you say he's a worker. I want to understand what the creative process is in the studio for the both of you. You know, like at that moment.
Okay.
But the point I want to make to that, with it just being you, is when we did the first interview, and I hope I ain't putting this on, I hope I ain't putting them on blast by saying this.
Okay.
We talked, we were in a friends group of just up and coming people. We were all on the grind, a bunch of us in this area in the 845. He was at work. I remember he took a break and he's on this call with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I had messaged in there. I said, hey, does anyone want to come on my podcast, do an interview? He said, me. So when I reached to him, because I knew he had a project coming, he was like, I got representation now. He was like, they kind of don't want me to do it, but I told you I was going to do it. So I'm doing it.
See, now, Pete, even with that, I like to make sure every T
was
is
the opposite.
crossed
They made me.
and every I was dotted.
Maybe.
Because, now watch, I'm explaining to
the
you.
same thing I was going to tell you. Like,
Okay,
they
go ahead.
made me do it in the sense of anything. They're like, morality is 100. So if I said I'm gonna do something, they're gonna
Oh,
make
you're
me
doing
do
it.
it. Even if I didn't want to do it,
Oh, you're doing
he would have been like, "Oh no, you said yes, you got it."
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's what
because
it was.
you don't put your word out there and then don't honor your own word.
Regardless if they didn't want me to do it.
So maybe I heard, maybe I misunderstood what you said then. Okay.
When he first brought it to us, though, this is after he had 7 bookings back to back. We're like, wait, why are you? No, don't tell people
At that
yes.
time, okay. So there
Don't
was just,
say
okay.
yes to
They
anything.
respected it because I said yes already. They said, "Nah, you got to do it."
Right,
Feel
okay.
me?
Because we saw y'all was both right. He said they didn't want me to do it prior, but since I already said yes, he was like, "You got to go by your word."
Okay, so
And
based
it's not
on
even
that,
the fact that he does not have a say equal to say, hey, I really want to do this.
Right.
But if we're planning and there are people that are working for you, they are planning one idea. If you just throw a wrench in it and don't communicate to someone, that's going to be difficult. But when you're communicating and we have the time, no, then we're going to honor what you said, because if you said it already, then we're there already.
Right.
Because he's Ice the God. And although he is cut from a different Kente's Ice the God, he is still first Ice the God.
before that,
Before any of that, we want to make sure that the artist remains the artist. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They don't need to be stressing that idea. They need to be doing what the artist is doing.
Okay.
They have A&Rs.
Right.
They have secretaries. There's
Yeah.
no reason for you to have to plan any of the things that you're doing when there's somebody planning it already for you.
Absolutely. And then I think that's where I didn't know he had representation.
Right.
You know, so that's where, like, sometimes even me, I'll reach out to someone and, I reached out to you.
Right,
And
right.
you said, I have representation. Okay. You know,
Right.
but some people, I don't know. But when we originally spoke, he didn't have it yet.
Got you.
So that's where it was just like, all right, you ready? Like, you know?
Ice was the last signed artist on Cut from a Different Kente. So he is actually the newest artist right now.
Okay.
But he's also one of the most seasoned artists.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He's been doing it so long.
Correct. And doing it well. It's not because no shade to nobody, but there's a lot of people that have been doing it well, and then there are a lot of people that have just been doing it long.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. When a person's doing something well, you see growth.
Right. Absolutely.
When a person is just doing something long, it might just be because it's familiar more than it being something that they're passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something, it has growth to it. It has seed in it. It already builds something bigger and better than what it was.
Yeah.
Just to go with what you said, how this latest album is the best you've heard out of all my projects. The reason the elevation is still going up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, it was the opposite. I don't think I've made my best work yet. Still, I don't think it's there yet. I think I'm still going up.
You're still on the rise.
Definitely.
You're still on the rise. You know, because there's no end game for you. Like
no ceiling. I don't have no ceiling on where I'm going.
It's just like, you know, it's like I always say, you shouldn't put I put pressure on myself, right? Like, they give awards away for podcasts.
Yeah.
My goal is to win an award for this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to win an award for this show.
Yeah. One thing I'll tell you is that a bunch of people speak well of your name already. So
Appreciate
I wouldn't be surprised if that's already in the works and you just don't know.
You never know.
Even the work from the last interview till now, the fact that I respected this shit. We did this shit over the phone before. Now I pull up, you got your whole place, you got the shirt, you got the hat, the merch, all that.
Appreciate that.
I respect the elevation as well.
Exactly.
And you know, and it's watching everyone. Like I respect what you guys do. I respect what the last family here was doing. Everyone who does something, we got to respect it.
Yeah.
We're all we got. You know, I try to really just push that forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we gotta really just strive for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
because if we don't actively go get it, there is no waiting for it to come to us. That has not worked for nobody. And I like the fact that you're putting pressure on yourself, but to me, discipline is pressure. That is the way that you make something better. You need to be disciplined. There has to be a theme. There has to be an idea. There has to be a goal. And then you have to know whether or not you made that goal or not.
What's the point of putting a cap on yourself, like you said?
Facts.
Even out the gate, there's no point in putting a ceiling on yourself.
No.
I want it all. There's no reason I can't have
Facts.
it all.
No, we can. It's up to us to figure out how to get there. It's up to us.
Yeah.
You gotta want it first, though.
Exactly.
You gotta want it, know you can get it, then you can go get it.
And if you got to be a go-getter.
Yeah.
No one's going to hand nothing to you.
Nothing to you.
Much like it goes with this next question. You were in a movie. You were in Sing Sing. Mm-hmm. What other opportunities as being a part of a label helped you do or helped you achieve?
Like being a part of the label, what did it help me get?
Yeah, like has it, I guess the question is, has it helped you in a sense get more stuff out of your career? Has it helped you?
Absolutely.
Has it, I know we explained the movie, how you got into that, but what I'm saying is it an extra lifeline in a sense to help get other things you may not have gotten as an independent artist?
Yeah, they just help me, put me in places to just help me showcase my talent. That's always one of the things that I always felt like I wanted and needed while I was alone, is just put me somewhere where it's people. Just get the people there for me and just set me up. And they do real good with that. Just put me in places in good positions to succeed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was watching some of the videos from the listening party today, this morning. I was just like, I was mad.
Ice,
I was mad I couldn't go.
That was the biggest show I ever had, bro.
Shout out to Ice, man.
Listen,
they set that all up for me.
You had my boy Jag there.
Yeah, shout out to Jag.
Shout out to him. I interviewed him on his show. You had Aaron Boogie there.
Yeah, shout out to E-Books.
I interviewed her on this show as well. I seen Gabriel there from Finally TV. Mm-hmm. And I'm just watching.
Shout out to Gabe. They popped out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
they definitely popped out. We had BGN Radio. We had Senior G. Feel me? Like we had your man that pulled up. Everybody's name be slipping me as soon as I need him. But as soon as I need him. But it was like, nah. The everybody popped out for Ice crazy. but
was love.
he's a movie. So it's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like to get an invitation to a movie premiere and then not go is insane. That's insane.
Well, it makes sense.
You know, and I just, you know, I'm watching this and I'm just like, yo, you really do this, you know, like, and just the energy and the support behind it. For that, how did that feel for you to just really see what you were able to do with just this? Real, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, just this device. You had a movie. Like anytime you comment, it's popcorn. There ain't many words. But my man Ice is just there. I'll post anything.
You know what that mean? Anytime you see the popcorn,
Movie
It's a movie.
time.
It's a movie.
Movie time.
But how did that feel for you? Like, you know, just like, do you ever, because I know you kind of got like to me, it seems like you just kind of got tunnel vision, but do you ever really take that time and embrace, like, damn, I did this. Like, these people are here for me.
Yeah, hell yeah. I felt vindicated, and it was just more like I knew it. Like, I know how I feel when I look in the mirror and when I'm rapping it and when I'm making it. So when I get to perform it and I get the love that I know that I should get, like, it feels good. Like, it just makes me want to keep going and do more because I know it's coming.
Definitely. And we talked about like this stuff afterwards. Like after everything, we had sit down. So you guys can check it out on our website, cutfromadifferentkente.com. We did behind the scenes of Ice's entire listening
show,
party.
yeah.
Wow.
So all of the people that came out, you could check out their interviews. You could check out the interviews of E-Bugs and you know, Senior G. You could, like, you know what I mean? Like you can see all of these people, and it was just a really dope moment. But even to see the last interview of when he's like tired from the entire show,
Yeah.
he seems more rewarded than he does tired. You know what I mean? Like if you tell Ice, go do it all over again right now, Ice is gonna go do it all over again. Like, you know what I mean?
Just for that feeling at the end that he was talking about, like, I knew I did well. Like, I knew I did well. I knew everybody had a good time. Everybody enjoyed themselves.
Definitely.
And that's what I do it for. That's what I do it for.
And that's what it's all about, is really just, if you doing something you love, you ain't working.
Facts.
Nah, exactly.
Like
Facts.
listen, I work for Nabisco. I drive to Long Island. I drive to Queens. I drive to the Bronx. I do that 4 days a week, sometimes 5. And then this, I love doing this.
Right.
I ain't working.
Right.
I'm creating brotherhoods,
Yeah.
sisterhoods,
Yeah.
you know, creating relationships, a lot of turning to business relationships, working relationships, you know, and that's the importance. Like, this building is important. Like, my producer, my production team, I met him in this building.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've made a lot of connections in this building.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about, like you said, vindication. Like, for you, someone who's well known,
Yeah.
a lot of people just say people are talking about me. That's the vindication. That means I'm on to something.
Definitely.
I'm doing something right, you know, and I really appreciate hearing that for sure. So I want to know, cut from a different Kente, the name. Where'd the name come from?
So, of course, in case everybody doesn't know, the Kente is a type of cloth naturally. It comes from Ghanaian heritage and it comes from Nigerian heritage, but it has to be made up of different colors, different cloths, and it's always very expensive to make, right? It is not something that's ever been cheap. It is not, it's something that royalty dons. It's not something that you would see a common traveler having. That's not the way that it's made, right?
Right.
So when we came up with Cut from a Different Kente, it was, we really want every single one of our artists to have something that is so different. And also, that's also how we sign to align with our label. So if there is somebody that's too much like someone else, we won't even be looking their direction. Like, we want to have something where it is a team of different individuals that have that same passion. And then with that passion to be able to draw a new world age into what rap is, into what hip hop is, into what R&B is. We have an artist that we're working with right now that does reggae and Afro beats, an artist that we're working with that does country. Like, we want something that is just different than what, when they see us, they expect from us.
Well, I'll be reaching out to Brooklyn to get them on the show.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, of course. I'm like, the more the merrier, especially because we have songs that are dropping left and right. Shout out to Aja. Aja has a song that just dropped. You got to hear Letter to My Best Friend. This
Aja, what up?
song is insane. Aja and Ice are like twins, though, so they be getting on my nerves when they together because they agree a little bit too much. I don't like all that because then it frustrates us. But she has that project. Her video is out right now as well. We're gonna be working on Ice's videos. The videos that Ice is gonna be shooting that are up and coming. I cannot wait for you guys to see the work. Like the way that y'all saw the difference in the sound, you're gonna see the difference in these videos too. It's gonna literally be a movie
for sure.
every time you see them.
Every trip.
So, aside from you saying you want different artists, different backgrounds, you want the artist to be the artist.
Yep.
What else differs you? I know those two are big.
Okay.
But what other things differ you? Because, like I said,
Cut from a different Kente, or just
no, you're right. The label itself.
Okay.
What makes
I think
you
that
different?
what makes us different than every other label, first and foremost, is that we don't rob you with your contracts.
That is different. I could tell you that. That's different.
Okay.
I done got 2 or 3 contracts, and the fact this one was really, it was super, super friendly, like to the artist. Like you can tell they really want what's best for you.
Right.
It's like more of they just want to help and just do what they can for you. Like
Wow.
I
That's
have
why I
a
said I
legal
trusted them.
team that I go back to consult, and I ask them questions as me being an artist. What do I need?
Okay.
Like now
Yes.
we're going to write up something that they need. We're not shortchanging the artist. Our artists are paid for everything that they do, by the way. So that's, I guess, another big difference between us and other labels. I don't care if they're at a mom and pop shop. I don't care if they're at a signing. I don't care if everything that they do, they are getting paid to do. There is never a time where you're going to see a cut from a different Kente artist out just on the strength and dime of themselves. The only time that we recommend that is also in their contracts, and it's when they have to do community events. There is a sense of give back that Cut from a Different Kente will always have. So all of our artists mandatorily have to do that.
Okay.
But they don't go anywhere just off of the strength of doing anything for free. Those days are over. That's the difference between Cut from a Different Kente. We know the worth of our people, and we're not giving them less than that.
And so for you, like you said, you've had other contracts and it wasn't it. But this one made you, and it's not even so much the contract itself. I guess, let's go back a little bit. How did you even meet to get signed by this record label?
my producer of all my music, which is Mr. Chords, he's the CEO, whatever y'all call it. I don't know what y'all niggas is.
He's the
These niggas
CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just be like, he the
did all
boss
my-
and he the
yeah.
boss.
He was already making all my beats. He was already shooting all my videos.
Yeah.
So when he came together with Crooner and they decided to do something, he came to me like, yo, I mean, this is what an opportunity we've been waiting for type shit. Like, we've been doing it by ourselves. Now we can, like, really, we can get some back and then we can really go into it a different type of way. And I said, well, let's do it. And I mean,
Yeah.
I trusted him with my production, with my video. So
Right.
it wasn't really nothing too much to keep trusting him.
So you really knew he wasn't going to steer you in the wrong direction, in a sense.
Nah, not at all.
You know? So tell me some of the things that having representation as an artist with a label is that's different. Or how does it differ from not having that representation? What are some key elements that are different?
Like he just explained, not doing stuff for free. Like, I was into doing open mics and just like a bunch of free stuff that I'm not doing anymore. Like, they told me what my worth is and they don't let me do anything without getting paid. Even if it's my own event, if it's somebody else's event, like, they'll pay me out of their own pockets. Just I will get paid for everything I do. You feel what I'm saying? So that's different from any other contract I've seen and from me being by myself. I used to do a lot of things for free and now I don't. So
Absolutely. You know, because it's kind of deciding when to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's really what it is, because I've seen artists, they push and they do these showcases and they do all these different things, but then it's just like, okay, when do you go from here to here?
So right.
Like, even a small step. Like, if you're getting nothing for a while and then, okay, someone's like, I'll give you $100 to do 2 songs. That's $100 you didn't have before.
Facts.
You know, and I think that's the issue is that people don't value themselves.
I agree.
You know, and they don't see their value. Like, you know, some people's best work, you take like mixtape artists, right? Or mixtapes. Some of their best work, they give it away for free.
Yep.
For free.
And it's because they're taught to do that. They're taught that exposure should be for free. And don't get me wrong, a certain level of exposure is not free. It's you not paying for the exposure because all of this equipment that you ever hear, none of this is free.
Nope.
This production is not free. In order for you to clip these things and make it the way that it is, it's not free. And then more than it not being free, it's time consuming.
It's entertainment is not free. Like I'm
Exactly.
on the show. Like I don't call myself a movie for a reason. I go home with no energy after I perform. So like I do
deserve it.
Like,
and that's I think the difference that we're trying to show at Cut from a Different Kente as to there are artists that deserve to be paid. They deserve the flowers that they get.
Absolutely.
Because of what you get from them. You would go and pay for this performance and it be somebody that you never met, that you could never touch, that never shows you any appreciation, and you have a person that could out-rap them all day.
Absolutely.
All day.
And you don't go.
Like the support just don't be supporting for some people. But what another thing that I think that and correct me if I'm wrong, he's learning that his support is much bigger when he goes even further. Sometimes he don't know he got fans in other demographics and other ideas, and it's not just about the core group as who he was looking to entertain.
Right.
It's now about who he can entertain.
Half the time your hometown isn't your crowd.
Of course not. And I would agree.
You know, a lot of times it's really not. You got to really step outside of your comfort zone or that box.
Yeah.
Like even like here, like recently, I interviewed a guy, a producer from California.
Dope.
He just came up, wavelengths, just kept going through the feed, found me, wanted to do an interview. We did it. I do a sports show. I have two co-hosts. The one guy,
I've seen it too.
Yeah, the one guy, R&B's from Detroit. Same thing. Going through Instagram, found me, reached out. Now we're friends. He's part of the show full time. So, it's all about going outside of that area and finding these other people who are
your people.
Yes.
Just because people are your people, like they're related or y'all went to school together, does not make them your crowd. It doesn't make them your idea. It doesn't make, like, where you see yourself being 10 years from now, sometimes those people just are not included. You have to know where you're going. And it's okay to be cool with the people from where you are at, but know where you're going.
Absolutely.
That's another reason I ain't doing nothing for free, because y'all showed me, even with that show, with that listening party, we had that venue packed, and they all paid to get in knowing they was just coming to see me, and that was it. Like, and nobody was disappointed. They all would have did it again. They would have paid double the price to see the show that they've seen. So I appreciated it.
During that listening party, did you do the whole album or did you do a select amount of songs?
No, I did like three, 4 songs off the album. I did 3, 4 songs off the album and a couple old songs.
Okay. All right. So they really, but even still, because everyone does their listening parties differently,
Right.
And some of the songs was playing. That's another part. I performed 3 songs and 2 or 3 other songs was getting played by the DJ throughout the night.
Oh man. So
Yeah, we have set lists and everything for our listening parties and everything there. So everything is timed.
Oh, so you be having it right.
Everything is timed. The DJ already knows how the set list is. We already have times where they rehearse and perform clearly before the fact. So they have 3 and 4 sound checks before their listening parties.
Oh, so you make sure it's right, crisp to the T.
Sound check, dress rehearsal, all that shit.
Everything.
Oh, so top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, we want to know what you got on weeks before. I ain't even going to lie. And it's funny because I actually bought a hat and I was like, no. I'm going to need you to go bring that back. Go buy a different hat because it's a no.
Oh,
and then the hat that you see him in the listening party is actually the hat. I was like, yes, that's the one.
So I just went and got a different one and went better with what I had.
So you ain't ever gonna steer him raw.
Yeah, we can't. We can't.
Because they're a representation of you.
Correct.
It's kind of just like,
And he's the leader of the pack. He's not just the representation. He's the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
He's been doing this longer than everyone but me in court.
wow.
So it's like no,
yeah.
like he is the face of where Cut from a Different Kente is going.
Man, and it's a good face to have.
Yeah,
You know? So I want to know, Ice, how do you see hip hop evolving? And what do you feel your contributions will do to help mold the future of hip hop and its culture?
I think it's gonna get back to listening with the words. Like words actually mean what you're saying, meaning something, not just saying stuff just to rhyme. I think it's starting to get back to that where the words is meaning a lot more now. So, and I'm definitely gonna contribute to that because everything I say always is gonna have a meaning. You feel what I'm saying? Just like you talked about giraffe, that shit was a whole concept. Like when I talk, it's gonna mean something at all times, and it's always gonna make sense. So that's what I'm gonna contribute to was how it's gonna move moving forward. Because I don't think it's just gonna be all this like vibe music. I don't think it's gonna stay like that. You see the people at the top of the game all can rap. That vibe music be all the people in between 10 and 20 top people. The people who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they all can rap with lyrics and they always saying some shit. So that's the type of time I'm on.
And what are some of your long-term goals for your career? I know we kind of touched on that before, but like, you know, that interview was a while ago. You might have different goals, aspirations, things you weren't even thinking of that might be different now.
I don't really got no ceilings on where I'm going. So I can just see like everything that I want in life. Yachts, houses, vacations, music-wise, I see Grammys, Oscars, I see acting, music. Like, it's really no ceilings for what I can do everything. So
Never put a ceiling.
Nah, not at all.
That's why it's open. Some of the goals.
And like I said, you saw me before I was signed. They gave me like you said, you thought it was bad before? It's an extra boost on my back now. I got a team with me. You seen how I was by myself.
Absolutely.
It's even worse now. Like I got my team with me. My guys is with me. I got Chords. I got Crooner. I got Aja. I got Jasmine. I mean, I got my people with me. So it's about to get turned up.
And it seems like, to me, it's more than a label.
Oh yeah.
It's more than you guys being friends. You created a family.
Definitely.
So even still, when you're bringing people in, you want to make sure they're going to fit them
with the family.
Yes.
Definitely.
You don't want no friction. You don't want, everything can go smooth. And I'm sure y'all fight about things like, you'd be like, well, I think you should do this.
I done been
They be on
cussed out by all of these
They be on
people
some chess
before.
playing shit too, though. They be on some chess playing shit. Like
Definitely.
they know personality, so they might purposely put two opposite people because they know what one person could teach the other.
Is gonna bring out of them. When in a family, just because they don't get along doesn't mean they don't work well together.
Right.
And you have to know the difference. We're very specific and very careful as to who we embrace in our family because it is just that. We want everyone to still feel safe. We want them to feel protected. We want people to feel like their craft is not just openly exposed and that there is a vision for where their craft can go. You know what I mean? So sometimes we disagree, but disagreements don't make us stop moving.
No.
Disagreements get settled. We're like, let's get everybody on a FaceTime right now.
You kind of you settle them and then you move ahead.
Correct.
You strive ahead to figure out what is the next best thing and how we get away from that disagreement.
Correct.
How we get to, okay, we both want to be here, but you want to go this way and I want to go that way. How do we figure out?
Correct.
We both want to go to the same place, so it's really not too much to argue.
Right.
How we gonna get there?
If we are convinced that that's what we want is to complete the task, we want to complete the journey, this is what we have set as the goal, and this is what we want to do, you start throwing away all the crap. You know what I mean? Like, just to get to the vision. Like, you don't want stupid arguments when there's a better thing that we can be doing. You know what I mean? We like to utilize our time the right way. And in case y'all haven't noticed, Cut from a Different Kente, we be booked. We're outside. So
we always doing something.
like we don't have a lot of time to sit for the petty arguments. Like
Right.
we'd rather a solution-based approach.
Rather have a solution and be booked and busy and be making money.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, I was looking at the website yesterday and this morning, putting some finishing touches on this, and I'm like, yo, these dudes is out here. They about this.
Thank you, bro.
They about this. So, Krooner, how does your view on music as an artist and as an executive make you execute a different sound in music?
Good question.
Thank you.
Well, first things first, I am a researcher at heart. So I love everything about R&B, but R&B has a lot of different takes on it. I have been a James Brown fan my entire life. I am a Michael Jackson fan. I am a Chris Brown fan. But equally as much, I am a Tyrese fan. I'm a John Legend fan. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I love all different sounds in waves of what R&B music is. But as an executive, I know that there is a way to make yourself marketable. I know that there is a way to make yourself sellable. I know that there is a way to make yourself attractive to the crowd that you are trying to attract, even if that may not necessarily be your everyday person, but that is your persona. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My real name is Keenan, right?
Okay.
Keenan is one of numerous siblings. He is one of a huge family, one of the biggest families in more than one city. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But Krooner, on the other hand, is an executive. He is an artist. So when Krooner starts getting on the wave, it's very, no, I don't care. Do what I said. I've already booked this and planned this and blah, blah, blah. It's very, sometimes I tell them this all the time, I'll forget to even say things like, good morning, good afternoon. I just get right into, so I got you booked for this day and this day and
I'm
this
like
day.
that too. I'll text my producer Elijah. I'll be like, "Yeah, bro, I want to do this." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man," because I like to
Go
say good
time.
morning, good afternoon, or how are you?
go.
Like I feel like I'm texting like a douchebag.
Yeah.
If I don't write good morning or how are you, like I feel like they're like, damn, they'd be like, this nigga
I've been
really
apologizing to them all month for
like
this.
this nigga really don't care about us.
Right. That's exactly what I mean. Because then I'm
you
like,
just get used to it. Once you know that it's all in good love, like they just
Right.
want to get to work for you, like so it's nothing to ever feel bad about when he's trying to work for me. I
Right.
don't care what time he call
And
me.
that's the
for
key.
me.
Yeah.
It's for me. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? It's nothing to argue about when he's trying to get the best
Something
for me.
Yes.
you have to know as an artist that every single moment of the day, not the 9 to 5 everybody else work, every moment of the day is another opportunity. Every single moment. So when you're trying to utilize your moments and your things, when I tell you I work my voice, I don't care if I do open mics, I do karaoke and things like that, but it's
Right.
going to be on a time when I know it's affordable for me or it's beneficial to me.
Right.
To the point where you just got to know how, as an artist, to make your bag. I used to go to karaoke and be paid to sing at karaoke.
Oh.
I was like, if they're giving
Okay.
out checks,
Okay.
if they're giving out checks and you want certain songs, then people
fine.
will pay for their own desires, is what I've learned. When people want something of you, they're willing to pay for it if you're willing to do it. You have to know as an artist what that is and what that looks like so that you can stay in a lane of your own. I've been so many different people in artistry, like since 14. I'm 33 years old now. Like I've been so many different people. Now I'm just the most certain as to who I want to be and who I don't want to be. Then now my music is going to sound more and more like who I want to be rather than who they, prepared and made me before.
Same.
Yeah, because it seems like so you really molded like you have through this whole interview. You molded who you wanted to be, and
Correct.
you made them be. You made them come to what you want to be, not the identity that they
I
want to
am
give
not
you.
changing to become you. I have done that. I have worked that craft, and for that, I have certain resources that I can call on because I've already done that. I've already paved that place. So my artists are not paving that same ground again. We're not there now. So
Right.
we're not doing this twice. I'll call in favors just because I'm like, I have a favor to call in. I don't need to use it for me,
Right.
but if I got to use it for them, I'm going to use it for them, and we're going to do what we have to do.
Absolutely, because even if you're using your favor for them, it's still going to
Still
benefit
get it.
you.
It
know?
benefits the family.
Absolutely.
This is the point.
And as long as the family's winning,
That's all we need.
exactly. So, I know we've talked a lot about not putting caps on things. This is a pretty open-ended question. What are the major growth plans for the next 5 years? How do you plan on achieving them? And how do you plan on achieving them?
Okay, well, in the next 5 years, we have roughly about 297 shows that we have already been working as a plan. So by then, we'll probably be somewhere at the Grammys. We're already going to the BMI Awards this year.
Okay.
So, honestly, bro, I have no idea because it depends on how fast we move. but the idea is like we already have a plan that's to keep jumping from place to place to place, from city to city to city, from county to county to county. So 291, by then, Chords will probably be somewhere in California and Ice will probably be leading Atlanta somewhere.
Wow. And that's then you see, like I said, it's open ended.
Yeah,
because you don't have the answer, but some people have a strategic plan. But now through this interview, your strategy is just kind of unorthodox.
Very honestly,
But
I
it
feel like
works.
it takes a little bit of crazy, a little bit of delusion, a little bit of favor, and a lot of talent. We have all of those things.
Right.
And I just don't know how to take no's as an answer for my people.
Well, if you allow no once,
Correct.
it's always going to be no.
Right. I'm like, there is never a real no. There is a different way. And then there's always a bigger way. And usually when we hear no's in smaller ways, we just do it bigger anyway.
If you can't get through the front door, go through the back.
Why not? At that point, when we can't get in through the front door, we just build a new building on the other side of the property.
Not even a door, a building.
Let's build a whole building over here.
So, Ice. How do you deal with negativity about your music?
Good question.
I don't. It's no such thing. I know I'm fire, and it is what it is. If you don't like it or you don't understand it yet, that's really on you.
Yes, sir.
How you feel about me is really none of my business. I know what type of time I'm on already. So if it come negative, I just switch it to it don't bother me. It don't do nothing to me.
So how does that? It don't bother you. I can respect that.
It fueled me a little bit.
Okay, so because I'm leading into the next question. How do you stay motivated and inspired to continue creating music is the original question. But I'm going to change it a little bit because now the way I'm feeling and just feeling the energy, how do you also stay motivated and inspired to create high quality music? Because I gotta kind of change the narrative because that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Like your music, the quality is getting better with each thing you do. So how do you stay motivated and inspired?
Just my own goals, my aspirations. Where I want to go keeps me motivated. I know all the things I want to do, and I know I got the talent to get there. So when that pen get the right, and I'm just always thinking about where I'm about to take it with it.
Felt.
Because it should just feel like just magic. Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So how do you stay true to your artistic vision while trying to appeal to a wider audience?
The audience is gonna come to me, like you said. Trying to appeal to them is not my goal. I'm gonna be genuinely me 100%, and I'm just gonna have them come into my world. I'm just gonna be relatable enough and make good music, and they're gonna come to what I like. I'm not really in the cut from different Kente, like you said. We're not conforming to nothing, so we're just gonna bring everybody into our world.
And I love that answer because just talking to you and seeing how you do things you're with the perfect record label.
Yep.
Yeah. Because a lot of these record labels, like, listen, there's a couple examples that stick out. Whenever a record label tells an artist to lose weight, Kelly Price.
Yeah.
As an example.
Yeah.
Because after she lost weight, her music like
Went crazy.
Went to shit.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the record label will tell an artist to do a song they really shouldn't. The biggest example, and I'm going to see her next Friday, Mary J. Blige, my favorite female R&B vocalist ever. For
Shout
me.
out to Mary.
She had an album called Stronger with Each Tear.
Okay.
There was a song on there with Drake called The One. And it was a club upbeat song.
I think I heard that too.
It was like dun 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 dun. And she's like the 111. And I'm like,
I do remember that.
You know,
and it was like, what is this?
and
What
I'm
is
like-
happening here?
So my wife's like, why'd she do this? I'm like,
They told her
her
to.
record label told her Drake's the biggest up and coming artist. They need something both of them can be on. She's a GOAT in her field.
Definitely.
People will listen to it no matter what. Even if they hate it, because Drake's on
It's
it.
because it's Drake and Mary. Yeah.
It's gonna get all the streams.
It's about setting the trends, not following them. Though, like you follow it, you only just gonna get but so far. When you setting them, that's the key. Like you just gotta do you and set the trends.
Absolutely. It's the same thing like I say about coming and making your own table. You upgraded it.
Yep.
I hope you don't mind if I borrow that.
Of course, of
you know,
course.
I would just be like, listen, Crooner said I need to build a building.
That boy.
Fuck a door, fuck a table.
We need
build
a building on the other side.
You know, we gonna knock even if we gotta knock down their building and rebuild.
Simple.
You know, we
Simple.
gonna make a new building. So I want to make sure, because like I said, we're combining here, so I just want to make sure I hit on everything that I can. As I was going through your catalog of music and of what you have released, I noticed that you don't have many collaborations. Why is that? Is that by design?
God.
You really don't like collaborating? Or is that just how ICE operates?
It's a little of both. Like I need such high quality. Like I'm a harsh critic on myself. So it's the same when I got a feature. Like I'll shut the whole song down if I can get somebody in a feature and I don't like their verse. It's over. Like not a song can come out, or they just gonna get deleted off the. I'm very picky about who I want on music. So the few features I got, I'm not open to doing them. It's just you gotta be good. You gotta show me.
They gotta vibe with you.
Yeah.
They gotta vibe with you.
Plus, our
I
artists
don't need
control their publishing. So if they decide, hey, I'm just not releasing this song because I hate it, the label does not push back by saying, hey, no, release this song. It's just like, on to the next song.
Oh, so they don't even, because a lot of times a lot of labels will be like, well, no, we spend money on the studio, we spend this and that, the
They have
engineer and
budgets,
this.
so that's on them. If they want to take out of their budget and clear that for their budgets to be able to do that, after they expend a certain amount of time, you're owing that because of what you've done because of that. But their choices are what leads their artistry. It's not the label. The label cannot take control of everything that the artist wants to say out of their mouth if they're the ones that have to perform it every day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Why, when he performs and goes crazy at his shows is because he also has control as to how he wants to sound, how he
Right.
wants to be, how he wants it to come off. And he's a lyricist, so he doesn't really, if it's mediocre or subpar, it's not gonna rock with Ice.
It's not gonna work.
I'll get on other people's subpar songs, but you're not gonna
Out
make
of
my
control.
song. You're not about to bring my song down. I'll get on your shit, and uplift your shit, but you're not about
Right.
to get on my shit and not be able to be on my level.
You know,
Out of control.
that's wild. But you know what? He's speaking his truth.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're
If they got it, if somebody good enough, I'll do it. But it's just got to be high quality because that's how I'm coming every trip. Like no days off.
So let me ask you. Ask just about every artist this. We're gonna get into your artistry as well.
Of course.
I'm gonna ask you the same question. If you had to pick 6 artists, 3 that you know locally, and 3 who are, known worldwide, industry wise, to collaborate with, if you have any, who would they be? Hip hop, R&B, I don't care, country. 'Cause it seems like y'all cover everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There's any artist you can think of.
Okay, let me think. You going first, right?
All right.
All right.
Known. I need Kiss on something. You know, that's just my dog. You know how I feel about Kiss. Got to get Kiss on something. And let me see. Then we're going to
Shout out to Jadakiss, by the way.
They about to be in Poughkeepsie in June.
Yeah,
the Locks.
man. But Jadakiss and the Locks, they've been around this town so long, yo. Y'all don't even know the half. Like, they have been around Poughkeepsie. They are so faithful to giving into Poughkeepsie. Like, shout out to the Locks, man, for real.
And Newburgh too.
Then somebody like Tim's. Like, I feel like me and like an R&B island type vibe. Like, I feel like we could really get something.
And I love Tim's.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I love Tim's.
He ate that.
And then Jay-Z, just so I could smoke him, I gotta just put that. I just gotta have it in the cut just so I can have like, I smoke Jay-Z on the verse. I just need that. I just need that in my pocket.
My man's like, if M did it, I can do it.
Too.
If M did it, I can do
I
it.
just need that in my pocket.
Out of control.
No, that's my three. That's my three right there.
Yeah, no one locally. Like, there's no one that you would fuck with locally on a track.
The same people I already fuck with, like who I fuck with is already who I fuck with. I mean, it's not nobody like super special. My son Fame, I still want to do a song with my son Fame. That's my guy. GEs, I fuck with my son GEs.
Yeah, man. Shout out to GEs.
I want to do something with GEs. And then just really my label. When me and Aja do a song, when me and Admin do a song, like that's the type of time I'm on.
I think, yeah, you know, and it's real tough because like you're really, your lyrics are like metaphoric, you know. There's certain artists, they just have that it. Like, I don't know if I think we spoke about Oswin before, Oswin Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Newburgh native, has the potential to be the greatest ever, just some of his metaphors. And I think the two of you would make a wonderfully great, I don't even know why I said wonderfully.
Yeah, put me on to him. I don't know what you're talking about. Put me on to him.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. You know, I mean, when you hear like just some of the metaphors and stuff, you like, wait a minute. Did he really just say that?
Right.
You know,
No,
like,
that's dope.
Like prime example, he said in one bar, he was talking about detonating a bomb, but he compared it to when Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson, detonate. And I was like, and if the lyrics weren't on the screen, I wouldn't have caught it. Wouldn't have caught it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's the kind of, and like he's been rapping since we were in high school, and then just to hear the evolution, you know, it's just crazy. So yeah, I'll definitely send them, you know.
What's your three? Who your artists?
Yeah.
I feel like that are well known. I feel like my three would probably be Lucky Day. Lucky Day is
underrated.
My son, and yeah, you know how that goes.
It's not talked about.
I definitely would want something with Music Soul Child. Music Soul Child is one of the greatest R&B artists of all time.
He's in my personal top 5.
Like, I've always wanted a song with D'Angelo. Just because I'm like, these people are legend because their sound is so specific.
Absolutely.
Where it's like when you hear them on the track, you already know that they've touched the song. So I'm like, I love things like that. But I also have artists that, like, there are so many artists because, we're constantly going out and scouting.
Right.
So I'm like, there are so many artists that I could say, like, I would want to work with in the future in the town. But I definitely would want to do something with Maya the Muse. She's out of Poughkeepsie. She's super dope.
Oh yeah, she coming on this show some point.
Yeah, me and Mr. Chords already got songs together, but me and Mr. Chords are gonna have a record on this new album that I have coming out too, and the album that he's releasing that's coming out called Perseverance. I also wrote songs on that album too, so you guys definitely have to check that out.
It sounds like CEO's got to come on the show at some point as well.
He did. You gotta get Mr. Chords on. You don't understand. Mr. Chords does so much.
Seems like CEO's got to come take a seat soon.
Yeah, he does so much. But invite us back. We gonna come back and support with him already anyway. You know, we can be the team out here.
Listen, the email will be going out today.
Say less. Say less.
For the next batch recording of stuff.
But yeah, I'm like, there's some really dope artists. I definitely can't wait to work with Aja. I can't wait to work with Dash. I can't wait to do a song with Synth Pretty. I know that's gonna be fire. Me and Synth Pretty, if we get on a song, it's definitely gonna be something like Neo.
I've been trying to get her on this damn show.
Let me message her for you. I'll message her for you and try to get y'all connected.
Like some people, You just they
But
don't
she be busy too, you know.
but
Simp
she
be out here.
She don't even look at the DM busy.
Right.
That's what I need, so now it's just like I like to try and do it myself,
Yeah,
but sometimes be like, listen, bro,
You like, just give her a nudge for me.
I got a business card, hand her that. Just I'm on. Just let a brother know something.
Nah, I felt that. But yeah, like the 845 is just going really, really big. Just period. I can't wait. If you're watching this, Jazzy Mavor, I would love to do a song with her because she is one of the greatest singers in Newburgh ever. Like,
That's my sister right there.
Like, Jazzy is different, like super different. Shout out to the Mavors too. Those are definitely my peoples, but definitely there are a lot of great talents in the Hudson Valley. And in the next year, we're gonna be all around the Hudson Valley before we start making our waves on the outside. Even though we do got those shows that are booked in Brooklyn right now,
right?
But afterwards, we trying to work as much as possible with the people that are in here, and then make our way a little bit further.
Well, listen. I'm about community first.
Yeah, facts.
And I actually started working with a company, All Right Entertainment, kind of to align the same stuff to make entertainment. The thing is now we're kind of like stepping away from showcases. Like I've stepped away from it a little bit. I haven't been as following as much. Been really focused on this podcast. Right. But I really want to get away from the showcases to kind of get into my mindset is that energy y'all are providing me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friend Daria Williams, she just released a book called No More Free Game.
Dope.
So she was like, she would always give like game. Like I want to have her come on the show, and I already know it's gonna be like a 3-hour talk. It's gonna turn into a conversation.
Right.
But it's no more free game. $40 book.
Felt that.
And I'm just like, hey, you got to know your worth, and you got to charge what you know you're worth. So that's what I'm trying to get on. Like, okay, I've been doing this long. Now, how do we get to the next
level? Yeah.
How do we get to the next step? So, Ice is familiar with this game.
Okay.
I play a game on this show.
Okay.
It's called Honest Picks. A lot of people hate this game because I'm going to give you 2 artists. And Ice, you can answer this as well, since you're an R&B artist.
Okay.
We're going to do R&B.
All right.
I'm going to just go off the dome, and I'm going to do it in reverse today. Michael Jackson or Prince? Yeah, that's usually the last one, but I decided to switch it up. He's like, that ain't right. Now, if you're not sure or you can't pick, you can't say both.
You can
say both if you really.
Oh, I'm gonna have to both it for because come on. These are now Michael Jackson. I feel like is an icon in so many different ways. But when it comes to stacking vocals, when it comes to learning how to brand yourself, when it comes to listening to feedback, to learning how to change, the whole reason why Michael Jackson is because of Rick James just telling him one conversation. It was, he knows how to take advice. So I'll say that. But Doves, come on. Prince is a legend for so many different reasons. And if for no other reason, the top 5 R&B singers right now all have songs that they've stolen from something Prince already wrote. So there's that.
Okay. I think, what are you feeling on that one, Ice?
Prince, just because of the work. Like, Mike is the better entertainer. Like, you will pay more to see Mike, but Prince, artistry-wise,
put that work in. I agree.
Is the better artist.
I'll give that. I respect that. That's the only answer I'll accept over Michael Jackson.
Yes, because Michael is it. But Prince said, I don't mind being a plumber while I do my songs while I'm trying to get up. I don't mind doing what. Now imagine Prince as a plumber. Now picture it right now. Nobody would have thought that this was
only that, Prince will wear high heels to take your woman.
Right. On purpose. Yeah. With a mustache. And a jerry curl and a slick back right here.
With the guitar, just singing Purple Rain. And
then he gonna make it start raining.
Out of control.
Word, like at the Super Bowl, like, bro, only that could happen to Prince.
Yeah, he's different. Yeah. He's definitely different. They're both different. But that's why that's a hard one. That's what, come on.
Rest in peace to both of them.
Definitely.
Make it rain, though. Prince made it rain. Like, that was crazy.
Like, word. Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin?
Whitney Houston. What the deuce? Period.
Whitney.
Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder? Battle of the Blinds.
Both.
Both?
I need both. Stevie Wonder.
It's just personal preference, by the way,
That's just
too.
like no one has ever done, and I mean no one has ever done what Stevie Wonder has done. Nobody ever. Nobody has as much awards consecutively. Nobody has done it at such a young age. Nobody has done what Stevie Wonder has done. But Ray Charles has created a whole sound of R&B. There was no gospel mixed with R&B until Ray Charles. So it's
Fair
a whole sound now. Now we hear what gospel is now, and it's like that would have never happened. People like Kurt Franklin and Mary and stuff like that, impossible without Ray Charles. It would have been impossible, but there would have been no people like Diana Ross and Michael Jackson and all of them without Stevie Wonder. There would have been no such thing.
Okay, I can respect that. What do you think, Ice?
I got Stevie. He could see. That's all I got.
Yo!
He could see.
I've heard the stories.
Save
I'm not
somebody
gonna-
one time. He saved somebody, pulled him back.
Oh, yeah, damn. Well, you ever heard the story that Shaq told about Stevie?
Nah.
Nah, that nigga could see.
He's in an elevator. Shaq's in the back. Stevie comes in with his people. Shaq don't say nothing to Stevie. He's standing there. Stevie looks over the direction he is, says, "What's up, big fella?"
Nah, he like, oh, I know this man.
I fuck with Stevie.
That's out of control. If he could see for real after all of this time and really like, nah, that's good acting. Give that man an Oscar for every year he did that.
The greatest.
He's out of control.
This one is musically only. Because a lot of people, when I say the first person,
Okay.
they pick the other person based on his personal stuff, musically. R. Kelly or Usher?
Whew.
This is not even close. This is R. Kelly.
Father in heaven.
That's what I think.
I'm gonna say R. Kelly because that pen. They can say what they want about R. Kelly, but R. Kelly has written for every single person ever.
Including Michael Jackson.
That's what I was like, ever. Anybody for a
Including-
whole 20 decades that had a #1 single has also had a song written by R. Kelly, including himself.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm like, he that's the pie popular R&B.
For real.
Usher is the king of what R&B is right now. Nobody's gonna out R&B Usher right now.
Yeah.
But on the same token, like, nah, R. Kelly is different.
Oh, 100%.
That man is different.
I don't think he'll ever lose a verse to nobody.
Ever.
No.
Kelly verse would be crazy.
He got too many songs. He could just keep doing songs.
And the thing is,
2 hours.
too many hits.
Yeah,
that's
like
the
you're
thing.
gonna know the songs. It's
Like-
not just gonna be the B-side songs.
Dude
Like,
can just play the 12 play album and win.
facts, facts,
Great.
facts.
Music Soul Child or Donnell Jones?
Ooh, Music Soul Child. I love you, Donnell, but music, that boy good.
That boy good. What you
I
feeling?
like Donnell. I'm a Donnell. I like Donnell. He gets smooth. A little smooth.
I like them both. They're my
music.
Yeah, they both
Music
very
in my
talented
feelings,
artists.
but Donnell make me move my feet.
Felt that. I felt that.
Neo or Chris Brown?
Met both of these people. They're really good people. But
Say both.
yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, I'm a just both it. I'm a both it. So I don't have to regret saying either one.
It'd be two different reasons. Like Breezy.
I agree.
Once again, Breezy as like the artist, the performer, but Neo, the pen is not. It's
pen.
not matched. Like Neo's pen is way better. But
It's
just
yeah.
Everything else.
His pen is definitely undefeated.
Yeah,
His
no.
pen is undefeated, and he's also a great collaborator as a writer. Like, I have worked with that team before. He is a great collaborator. Like, he knows how to tie in ideas. He is the king of a storyboard. Like, he know how to plan out a song just well. He's intuitive and innovative in that degree. But I feel like Chris Brown has a sound and a style for this generation and
Right.
generations to come. Like when I'm gonna think of the king of pop later, I'm gonna think of Chris Brown, definitely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to make sure we get into your artistry
Okay.
as well. So off camera, and you did say earlier you got an album on the way. What can you tell us about this project? The name, if you have one. What are
do.
we?
So it's called One Step from Mars.
Okay.
Essentially, this album is gonna be some feel-good songs. I've been giving people a lot more to like move to now. The songs are gonna be a little bit more ballad.
Okay.
Bass, you know, I'm going into my deep R&B bag. You know, we're gonna bring back a little bit of 90s R&B with a little bit of, you know, the mix of the 2000s when hip hop and R&B became a thing. But definitely some good vibes. Triggered is the single for the project right now. There is gonna be an additional single that comes out with me and Mr. Chords. So you guys just stay tuned for that.
Okay. And how hard is it to balance essentially running and owning a label and being an artist? Like, because, one thing I noticed doing the entertainment company is artists need a lot of attention.
Definitely.
A lot of attention, a lot of time, and me, in the position I am there, it's kind of just like, I'm just like a secondary owner,
Right.
the main guy, he handles the brunt of it.
Right,
But
right,
like
right.
when he's not there and they come to me, I'm like, whoa.
What's
Like,
happening?
Especially if he forget to tell me something and I'm like, well, he might have not told me, So how is it to handle all that as well as still make time to be an artist?
It is definitely a juggling thing. It's funny because we were just having this conversation on the way here where I was like, all right, now we got about 7 more venues before I can go back and focus a little bit more on just things that I want to do. But the good thing about it is I'm a vocal producer as well, so I know how to record my own self.
Right.
I know how to come up with my own ideas, but Chords is my brother for real. Chords is he is my executive producer.
Okay.
So I don't have to really go far to figure out what I'm thinking. I'm probably on Chords' phone more than his wife, to be completely honest. Where I'm like, I don't mind calling and being on the phone and saying what my ideas are because I have a lot of ideas.
Right.
Now, there are times when I'm writing it and I'm like, oh, this song was dope, but it's not for me. Let's give this to somebody else. Let's pitch this a different way. Let's sell this song or let's market this song or whatever. But my artistry has been something that I think I got a lot of time to season. You know what I mean? So I have 7 and 8 composition books of just songs. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm like, if I wanted to drop an album every month for the next 10 months, I could. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? But timing is everything in artistry. It's not just making songs. It's not just releasing songs. It's also releasing a demographic of people with that song so that the song becomes a moment, not just music.
Damn, that was deep. That was a little mind fuckery there. Jeez, like I don't even know where to turn from that one.
Yeah, it's all a system. Like, I think that people think that it's just like, oh, I have a beat and I want to make a song and now I'm just going to be the greatest artist in the town. Like, it doesn't work like that.
A lot of people don't understand what really goes into a song.
I agree.
Now, I'm not.
We were just talking about that on the way here too. We were like, because if they knew, they wouldn't ask us certain questions that they asked the producers. Because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's not how that works.
Right, because like I'm not an artist, but I know like people think, like you said, it's just beat, hook, rap, song over.
And it's over. Yep.
No, but you have to, like people also think that the way you hear the song is the way that you record a song.
Right.
And it's definitely not. You're definitely in a booth or of some sort or a room. There's headphones. And then, the artist's like, I don't like that. Move this and put that there.
Ice, what was he in the car with us or something, Ice, when we got? Because what is happening? This is all the stuff that we were talking about on the way here. That's funny. I was like, he must have bugged the car. We were mic'd up. We were mic'd up in the car.
And then it's just like kind of then, once the song is complete, it's not complete because then, mixing and then you
Correct.
got to master it. And then, there's just so much. Like it could take you like some people can do a song in a day. Credit to them. That's a lot of work for one day. But if you really want to sometimes master a song, it could take a week.
Right.
You know, it could take 2 weeks. You know, and people think it's easy, and you know, and it's a little hypocritical of me to say, because a lot of people will go back and say, well, you're hypocritical of Kendrick Lamar because of his gaps. Like,
Right.
listen, no, that nigga took 5 years off between 2 of his albums.
True.
So that's a long time.
5 years is a long time.
That's a long time.
Especially in music. 5 years is a long time. But
People can
I
forget
understand.
about you in 5 years.
Yeah, I'm like, but I understand trying to be authentic or true to yourself. One thing that I give Kendrick is Kendrick does not release garbage. Like,
Give him
he's
that.
not gonna give you garbage and then just take
Cardi
you.
ain't dropped in how long?
Yeah, I feel like Cardi is the same way too. Cardi's not giving you garbage. And when they have teams that are like, no, well, we want you doing more than just one thing.
Right.
People think while Kendrick is not recording an album, you're missing the fact that you're seeing him get Pulitzer Prizes. You're seeing him in movies.
Yes.
You're seeing him on television shows. You're seeing him in other countries performing. Like, when you want a career of longevity, the idea is not just to release songs to entertain people. It's to create a brand as a person. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than that. So even in the moments where people may not see Ice doing all of the local performances here,
Right.
they don't realize that we still have Ice doing something else somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Always working.
Exactly. And you know, and that's it's all work isn't always new music.
Correct.
Which brings me back to Walk on Water. And if I haven't said it before, make sure y'all check that out on your preferred streaming
Definitely.
platform.
Find that everywhere.
Talk to me about the success of the album. It's not nothing short of fire, bangers, and definitely differs from other released music. But what is the success and the positivity you've heard from most people? And what's your favorite song on the project or favorite bar that you dropped on the project? Or both, if you have one.
I just like that everybody's receptive to it. Everybody's appreciating it. And I mean, they appreciate the lyricism. Like you said, they understanding that I went like a bunch of different ways with it, but also like kept on topic of walking on water and just feeling like it got the same overall feel in every song, but it's just different ways I'm saying it. My favorite songs on it is actually Sleepers for the Rich and Go Live.
Mine
Those
is
my
Sleepers
two
for the
right
Rich
there.
too. Yeah.
And Giraffe. Those ones got meaning for me.
Yeah, Giraffe is, bro. You gonna be 5 albums and I'm like, bro, but Giraffe.
That's what Sleepers for the Rich is
You know?
for me. When I tell you, I know people that see like my stories and stuff, they be like, can he post a different song from this guy, please? I be like, look, when I'm done with it, I'll go to the next one.
What have you taken in terms of creation on this particular project versus previous projects?
Just being open-minded to just doing different type of beats. Like Go Live was more like a Kendrick Lamar West Coast type of vibe that I don't even really do those type of beats, but it ended up being like one of my favorite songs. So it's just being more open-minded about trying different things.
And how has this project and the way you created it, how is that going to shape future projects and how you're going to create going forward if it has?
It's just gonna make me lock in and just be in the studio with my producer and pick exactly how I want the beat. Like since I got that, me and Corey's got that synergy together. Like we can really be in there and make the beats exactly how I want each song. So I'm going into the next project knowing that and just making everything exactly how I want it.
Man, shout out to Chords. He's back there behind the scenes.
Shout out to Mr. Chords.
You know, he's the CEO.
Correct.
He's the beat maker. He's the video maker. He's an artist himself.
All that.
You know, like
All that.
Like so, definitely gonna have him on the couch. That's definitely definitely sounds like it's gonna be a
Just send that email. I'll get my secretary on it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We definitely gonna make sure we have that. We definitely gonna have that. So, Krooner, what are some of the good things about being in your position? And then what are some of the bad things? So, whichever one you want to take.
I feel like
first.
the good things are when you're a person with good intent, and when you have people with great work ethic around you, with great visions around you, it makes the 1 step 5 steps. You know what I mean? So I have an amazing team. I have a team that constantly is working. There's always somebody working on something. And things have happened where things have happened with their vehicles, things have happened with their family, people have been sick, and everybody still just works. Like, so I have an amazing team. I think that that's the best part about being in the position that I'm at. I feel like the worst part is that we're not filthy rich yet. Give us some time. Give us some time. But like I don't really harp on the things that just come with hiccups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I might be upset at the time that it happened because it happened and we need to be doing what we need to be doing. Everything else is a waste of time. But I get over things. I like to get to the motivation. I like to get to the idea of where we're going. So I'm like, I might be mad a day. After that day, I'm like, so here's what we need to do, and blah, blah. And even with people like Chords and Ice, I don't even think I really give them a day. You could get a couple hours and I might be tight, but after that, I'm back on your phone like nothing happened and we have things to do.
Good. We like, got to move forward.
Even if we're not good and we still don't agree, we still have things to do.
Right, because eventually you're going to get on that same accord.
Plain and simple.
You're going to get on that same accord.
We allow people to feel. Like, people can feel how they're feeling. If they feel disagreed with, if they feel ganged up on, if they feel like they're not being listened to, if they feel like they want to do something that the team is saying is not the best idea, they deserve to feel how they want to feel about those things. But the idea is we still have a job to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you, because we kind of blew over your project kind of quick, kind of just switching gears. What are some of the things with this album that you hope the audience or the fans or whoever's listening will take from it?
It's a story. So I love this project because it is a full entitled story. Like it explains some really, really high places for me and some really, really low places. I've seen both of them very, very well. I know that well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I can't wait for people to see more and hear more of those things. And of course, I can't wait because now with so many different visual artists that I'm going to be working with as well too. So I can't wait for that. I can't wait for people to hear me in Chords going crazy again on another song. So I'm just excited because it's been a while for me to release a project as well because I've been taking so much time on the releasing of our artists and signing and, doing the executive portion of it. So I'm just excited to be back,
To be back where it started.
And that's really my heart. Like, that's my baby. Anybody that has ever seen me perform before, they already know, like, being on a stage, that's my favorite part of everything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just going to be fun to do it all over again.
Yeah, and that stage energy is different.
It's different.
Like, even, like, as a spectator, when they used to do events here and people would come and be here, you just felt the energy of just the artists and they felt it. I've watched your performances because you did one not too long ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember where it was, but
could have been anywhere.
I'm trying to remember what he was wearing. I know it was in Poughkeepsie, but I can't remember it. Like it looked like it was like a cafe of some sort.
Okay.
And
Simply's. Shout out to Simply Sweets. Shout out to Ari. It was probably there.
Yes.
Because you did have a show there recently.
Yes. Yep. It was there, and that beat came on, and like he's got like such a calm demeanor most of the time, right? But then it was like the mask came off and he was like a whole nother person. I was like, oh, okay. Like
this has been, and it's funny that you would mention it because even at Ice's signing, I tell him all the time that is one of my favorite things about him because no one expects it unless you've seen him before.
Yeah.
He walks in and then you're like, what the hell?
I'm a real life superhero. I feel like a superhero when I get on that stage.
I love it, man.
It's a different type of time when I get on the stage. I feel like a superhero. I feel like I'm putting my cape on when I go on that stage.
Felt that.
Yeah, and it's just like you're like a whole nother person, whole nother individual. The energy's there. You just really embody, like the music takes a hold of you,
God.
and you embody what it is and become a god.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
like it's just like, and even then, I don't even mean God. Sometimes it's like GAWD.
Yeah,
like whoa,
He acted crazy.
like
This is insane.
he
up
was
here.
like the Hulkadonna there, like you know. So I want to know, because I seen something and I couldn't find much about it, so I just wanted you to elaborate.
Okay.
Talk to me about the top 5 showcase.
Okay. So the top 5 showcase was a showcase that we did. We did it a few times, and it's going to be coming back as well in the summer. We picked 5 artists from all around different communities. So we'll do Poughkeepsie, we'll do Beacon, we do Hyde Park, we different areas. And essentially what we do, we invite them into our studios and free of charge. And they work on one song, but the only thing is that they only have a month for the song to be done.
Okay.
They then compete against 4 other artists, and then whoever wins essentially wins. I think that we did 10 hours of free studio time, and the song that we worked, we would mix and master for free for their full release.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. And what made you decide to offer a service like that?
Honestly, it was because we saw so many artists in Poughkeepsie, and we saw a lot of artists in Beacon, but the problem was it felt like, this really ain't no shade to nobody in particular, but it just always seemed janky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, it started getting us so mad because we like, wait, is this supposed to be happening? Or like, what is going on? Like, what is the time? And like, the lights don't make sense. This stage doesn't make any sense. Like, it just didn't look like the people were given an opportunity correctly.
Right.
So when I first pitched it to Chords, it was with that idea. Like, I feel like a lot of these artists would do better if they had a better production,
Right.
if they had a better sense of direction, because then the entire time I would tell them, even including their performance, here, you're going to start here. This is how you're going to do. This is where I need you to go from this stage to that
Right.
portion of the stage. This is how I want your performance to be. We just put the resources that you would if they would have had a label, and they have a label for that day or for that month rather. And then we see what they can shake out of it. 2 of the winners of the top 5 showcase are currently signed to cut from a different KENTE Records right now. Aja and Jasmine Otherfae were originally brought in through the top 5 showcase.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting.
It was insane because it got a lot of great feedback too. And it was so many artists at first where me and Chords had to tell people no. People were trying to come the day of in case other people just didn't show up.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let me just get their spot.
Wow.
Like, let me do whatever I gotta do.
See, they must have been bugging you, because it's just like you say there's never a no. So they keeping that energy.
They definitely. I said, this is getting
They
annoying
keeping
now.
that energy.
When I tell you, I was on the phone with Chords every day, like, this is getting annoying now. Like, because no, we can't pick all of these people, and then now we got to switch people, and people want to do other performances, and, artists turn into artists, so some are divas and some are not. You got to work with everybody's schedule. Some people had kids, some people didn't. Some
Right.
people lived far, some people didn't. You know what I mean? So you had to work around it, but you got to see who really wanted it. You got to see and hear a lot of great songs. Not to mention, you got 5 new songs then into the airwaves that nobody had heard before, and they were bops. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to all of the artists that have ever done the top 5 showcase, because everyone that has ever won the top 5 showcase has always had a great song.
Oh man. So it definitely is empowering for the artists.
Definitely.
And definitely big for them.
For some of them, it was their first time ever being on a stage. And for
Wow.
some of them, it was their first time returning to the stage under a new moniker. For some people, it was their first time ever transitioning from doing things like gospel to R&B. So, it was a first for a lot of people. But also, one thing that was, I think, uniform with everyone was that they weren't used to being in productive as sessions as they were with me and Chords. I think that was the thing that we heard the most. Like, dang, you guys make me feel comfortable in recording, and you make me feel comfortable doing this song. And a lot of the times What people don't realize, especially as a singer,
Mm-hmm.
if your nerves have gotten the best of you, you can't perform.
No.
Like it strangles you. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it was dope to see a lot of people getting into their element and to create setting for it.
And it just shows a testament to you and Chords that you have a level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And a level of respect to say, okay, you know what to do. You know what's the right thing. You know, that's why you're able to get artists like Ice and get the
Definitely.
best out of the artist.
Right.
You know, that's the key, is it's not just about the artist, because you're doing just timelining through this interview.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with you bringing them in. You make them feel welcomed.
Yep.
You make them feel desired. And then, you know, once they sign, they see that they're not getting robbed.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make money. They're going to be able to be who they are as an individual. You're not going to try and change the artist. And then when you're recording, there's professionalism.
Correct.
There's this. And you understand what needs to be done to get to here. If this is the goal and you're
Right.
here,
Exactly.
you understand how to get from point A to B.
Goal setting and accountability.
Yeah. And, you know, you've definitely picked the right people to do that for you.
I appreciate
So
that.
I have to say congratulations.
Thank you so much, brother.
Because, you know, and that's genuine, you know, because, you know, not a lot of people are able to do that at such a high level.
Yeah.
You know, and how long has Cut from a Different Kente been in?
Cut from a Different Kente is only 4 years old.
Wow.
Only 4 years old. And that was when we started Cut from a Different Kente Music. We then bridged Cut from a Different Kente Music to Cut from a Different Kente Records when we named Chords as CEO. We have not even been in full operation for a full year as him being named CEO.
Wow.
And look at what we did in the last 6 months. Just give us 6 years.
And like you said, that's all about rebranding.
Correct.
And because, like,
No, it works.
I don't see nothing about Cut from a Different Kent. What was
Say
it?
music.
Yeah, no.
And you won't.
No, because, you know, that's like, you know, and I never thought about, and it's funny you said, I had a friend who said to me recently, I was redoing my resume, and he was like, you should take all those old jobs off.
Out. Yep.
Take them out. Just keep the last like 2 jobs you had in there. He's
And
like,
then start pitching in, and this is just a little free game. Then start pitching in all of the things that you have done that references the job. I tell people have 3 different resumes. Have 3 different resumes for all the things that you specialize in. So if you're really, really good at something or you exceed what proficiency is, make sure that you have a resume for all of them so that you're always shopping in a different way, because you might want to go a different route than what you thought before too.
I hope y'all heard that. Clip that one too. clip that one too. So, Ice, Krooner tells me you've been doing a lot of movement, but yes, you know, as great as you are, you don't post a lot on social media, and I respect that. However, what can you tell us that what's within the realm that you can discuss, other than, of course, like I said before, make sure you stream Walk on Water.
Definitely.
But what else you have coming up that you can give us that you're looking forward to, or that we can look forward to?
There's videos and good music, great music, phenomenal music.
There we go.
It don't stop. The best of me is still yet to come. So I just hope y'all ready for the best music you ever heard from me. That's what's coming.
Oh man. So I ain't trying to rush it, but I gotta ask, as the fan, this is a fan question. When's that follow-up album coming? If it's in the works, roughly. It don't even have to be this year. You can tell me next year, tell me 2 years, but roughly, if you had to guess.
Nah, it's coming this year. Just know it's coming this year.
Facts.
I got more coming this year.
Okay.
And it's already in the works.
Yeah. I'm already cooking it up.
Already in the studio.
Oh man. So now I gotta ask, is there a tentative time? A quarter. You can just give me a quarter. Quarter when we might hear it. If you had to guess.
Third, fourth
Okay.
quarter.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, we're gonna end the year with it.
Of course.
Gonna end the year with
Gotta
some
have
heat.
a bang. Gotta have something,
You gotta have it with a bang. I gotta ask, what's next from Cut from a Different Kente?
Well, Cut from a Different Kente has a few different things going on. Make sure that you guys are definitely checking out the Heritage Honors. We're honoring 12 women out of the community. And essentially, we're just giving them their flowers for all of the hard work that they've done. We have educators, we have daycare providers, we have musical artists, we have council people. It's actually going to be hosted by Councilwoman Andy James. So that's the 31st of March. So definitely check that out. Me and Chords both have projects that are coming out in this next quarter. Not to mention that Ice's album is going to be released before the end of the year. Be looking out for Aja's album before the end of the year. Jasmine of the Fae has a single that you're going to have before the end of the year as well. So just, know that we're working. One thing about it, we got a lot of time on our hands and we're using every part of it to keep hitting y'all with another new song.
Yeah, it sounds like the whole label is gonna come it's gonna be a group interview.
Everything.
It's gonna be a group interview. Like I said, I usually do them, individually, but I liked the way this came together.
Yeah.
It definitely was a vibe. I feel it. So, as you know, I end the show with a positive ending message. But before we get to that, I want you guys to tell everyone something they don't know about you.
You going first or you want me to go first? All right. Something that y'all don't know about me, and I was debating about saying it one way, but I'm going to say it a different way this time. Something y'all don't know about me is that I have a brother, a blood brother, that is 11 months older than me that we might be signing to this label. So just stay tuned for that.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Ice?
I never had a brother that was close.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh yeah, that's my guy too.
Yeah, man.
I fuck with Sam.
Y'all gonna
Something
see.
you don't know about me. You're gonna see me so much that you're gonna get annoyed. That's what y'all don't know. Like,
Fact.
you're gonna see me on your TV. You're gonna hear me everywhere. You're gonna keep seeing me, and it's gonna keep happening for the next 20 years.
You're welcome.
We ready for it.
That's about it.
We ready for it. So now, you both look into the camera, give the audience, anyone watching or who will watch this back, a positive, uplifting message. Floor is yours.
Yo, stay true to you. The closest thing to God is when you get closer to you. Know thyself and to thyself be true.
Be yourself. Chase after everything you want. Like, don't let nobody tell you can't do nothing. Just do what you want to do and get what you want to get. Like, go get that shit. Easy. Cut from a different Kente. You know that
You know
shit.
the vibes.
I'll add us.
So, like I said, make sure you stream Walk on Water on your preferred streaming platform. All those projects coming. You make sure you check them out.
Yeah, man.
You make sure you look for them. I'll be looking to go to some shows. I appreciate both of you for taking time to come on to the Honest Hour.
Bro.
Y'all will definitely be back with the whole label.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be one group interview. I want to talk to everybody now. I want to know, down to the secretary. I want everyone on this couch. I want to be like, we're going to be like this. We're going to be make it look like that 6 feet during COVID. Now we're going to be close. We're going to be hugging.
We have a family.
Definitely. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into this episode of Honest Hour.
Honest Hour, what up?
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Brody.
you. I want to thank Happy Tree for allowing us to use their building. I want to thank the COC Network for everything, or for producing this. Make sure you check out all our sponsors. Make sure you buy the merch. I got more coming. And also, on the last episode, I said I was going to announce something else. On top of this merchandise, I got a new clothing line that's going to drop on my birthday, May 31st, called Purpose and Positivity. It's going to drop. It's going to be elite. I'm very excited about it. So please, check me out. You can follow me anywhere. You see Honest Hour, Mike Williams Enterprises. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Later.
Thank you.